let's take a look at this and see how complicated it works. Jada brought us a great referral, Toasted Buns, a competing sandwich chain. While working there, she noticed their customers often complained of getting dangerously thin buns, causing chaos as sandwiches collapsed onto their contents waste. Could we design a robot to catch these issues too? Oh boy. Except robots that enter with at least as much red as blue at the start of the tape and the end. Interesting. I think it's like take off a red, a blue, then a red. Yeah? So what I mean by that is, like, see, this group has 2 reds, 2 blues, and 3 reds. So if you cut off a red, a blue, and a red from each of those, you go from 2, 2, 3 to 1, 1, 2 to 0, 0, 1. I guess as long as you still have a red. Like, yeah, if you see only reds and no blues, you're good. Okay, that should work. So, we start, and we'll read reds. We'll read 1 red because we want to eat it, and we want to reduce the number of reds at the start of the tape. And then we will, having reduced that by 1, we'll cycle through until we get to the blues. Then for the blues, you know what? I actually think we want to do that same trick as before, where we write a blue. So just so that we can separate, like, this group of 2 from this group of 3. Because otherwise it's hard to tell. You know, this is, like, the start and end kind of run together once you start cycling through, and this is 5 reds, and this is 5 reds, you know, 2 and 3, and 1 and 4, so I think you need that separator. Okay, so this cuts down 1 red, and then we're going to read up blue, and we're going to want to, I think, cut down blues as well, so we're going to want to do the same thing. And then we're going to want to do another version of that in red. And if we get, and then once we read that blue, I think that should, that will be this blue that we started with, so we can just add it back on. And I think, let's see. So we go, we do a blue. Did I get some logic wrong there? I must have. We did red, blue, red. We have the red. We read the blues. Oh, okay, I think you want, I think I just put this conveyor belt in the wrong place. What am I doing? So, okay, so we've gone through those blues. We've gone through a blue. This is going to be clearer to see, I think, if I instead do this. So, we put blue at the back. We take off 1 of the 2 reds. We have a red at the back. We take off 1 of the 2 blues. So we have a blue at the back. This part seems wrong. Take off a red. Yeah, I think I just added an extra 1 on accident. So I think if I move this here, Right, so we have the 2 reds. This is 1 red. This is the 2nd red. And then, again, I've got conveyor belts in the wrong spot. Cool. Well, okay, so we have the input, and once we go through all of this, we've taken off a red, a blue, and a red from the 1 dot from each section. I go through again, take off everything. Oh, why do I have a red left? Oh. Yeah, I kind of want this. I need to go through. Okay. Here. Instead of doing that, because I messed with the loop, I'll just do this. That way we end up at the same spot, but after the blue writer. So after we do this, we're at everything -1, -2. And if I just have a blue, I think that's an indication that we're good. And now then, if we have more reds than blues, so we get 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. There's 1, 1. That's just a red. So okay, and then what if we have more blues than reds? We have 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. This is only a blue. What? This is 2 blues. Okay, so I think what needs to happen is if it's the last blue, we keep it. But if there's another blue, I think we need to throw it in the fire. Yep, so that one handled correctly. And that one handled correctly. All right, so let's see. So I think I probably just need to have successes at various points. Alright, so I'm supposed to incinerate that. Oh boy. Okay, what happened here? 2 red, 2 blue, 1 red. 1 red, 1 blue, 0 red. Get rid of a red. Get rid of a blue. I'm expecting there to be a red at some point, but there's no reds left. I mean, I guess the main thing is if there's a second, right? Because it would just be 1. But do I need to add, like, you know, check if there's an empty thing? If it's empty, then burn it. And otherwise I read 2 blues. Oh no, I don't like that at all. Okay. If I'm gonna do that, I shouldn't have the arrow pointing back the same way. That's for sure. I should do something like this. And maybe give myself some space. So, if it's empty, I say just throw it on a fire. If it's red, I need to get the single blue written again. And I should connect it up to here. But if I see 2 blues, I need to write them both back. Don't love it, but... Alright, so this starts red, blue, or red. 114. So down here it's 003. So it's 003, but it doesn't know that. So it's thinking it's 300, which, sure. Like, because it started 114, but 44411 would get you the same result, I think. So 300. That should be 200. We don't know that it's 0, though. So we don't know this blue is the wrong blue. Okay, so if this blue is the wrong blue... Okay, so I think it's the sort of same issue I saw over here. I need to confirm that... Oh, it's actually a... Okay. Oh, okay. No. Yeah. 3002. Right. I'm at 200. Okay. So I need to go. If that was the last red, I have a problem. I might run out of space here. Okay, so if I see 2 reds, then I need to do 2 writers. If I see an empty one, I need to throw it into a fire. If I see a blue, I need to do a single red. And I guess I can just move this further up. Let's try this. Oh. I don't throw that into a fire. I pass it. 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 0. Oh my god. So I need to know if there's a red here. Is this... I'm just afraid that, like, if I check for if there's a red there. Because isn't that what I just did here? I don't want to, like, add one and then have it turn out to just be the same issue again. I'm sorry. Okay. Hello everyone, we are back with Manufactoria 2022. Last time I got stuck on this puzzle a little bit, and I've had a day to think about it, and I think I realized what I was doing wrong. So this puzzle has an input with 3 parts to it. We have a section of reds, a section of blues, and a section of reds. We want to accept it if both the sections of reds are at least as long as the section of blue. So my thought was, can we remove one from each of those sections, and then we'll just figure out at the end whether the reds were greater than the blues. So if we started, like in this example here, if we had 2, 2, 3, we bring it to 1, 1, 2, and then we bring it to 0, 0, 1, and we somehow figure out how to accept it. The problem was I didn't really figure out what I needed to do to accept it. And I've thought about it some more, and I think the step is when the blues, so basically something's going to get to 0 first. And I think if the blues get to 0 first, we know we need to accept it because there's fewer blues than reds, or at least no more blues than reds. So if this goes out first, we accept it. If this red section goes out first, well, that came after the blues, which haven't run out yet. So if the later red section goes out first, I think we need to reject it. And if the first red section goes out first, well, that might be okay. Like if we also run out of the blues at the same time, that's okay. But then if it carries all the way back around and we have no reds left, that would be a problem. So I think we need to reorganize some of this, and there were some cases I didn't handle correctly last time, so I'm going to try and fix that. You know, I did so much of like weird stuff last time, I almost just want to start over with this whole thing. I think I'm just going to do that because I've got this new idea in my head, and I'd rather not confuse it by trying to fix everything I've done before. So we'll just do this. We do a blue, and then we have a red. Read 1 red, and then we will cycle through all the other reds. And this will bring us to our first blue. So we go through here. Let's see if at this point we should have more blues. If we don't, it's a problem. Like if we immediately go to red, that's the problem. If we have one blue, actually, so if we've read the one blue and we immediately go to red, that means we're good. If we have more blues, we need to do something. We need to continue on. So this is the case, I think, where the blues in the middle are the fewest, which is fine. Okay, here we've read at least 2 blues. So we need to bring one of them back. And then this is getting a little complicated, but it's more of a layout issue than a logic issue at this point. So we'll keep going. This should bring us until we have 1 fewer blue than we started with. Then we have the reds. And then let's see, at that point we've read 1 red. So if we go to blue, that means we've run out of that red before we've gone to the blues. So I think that means we can just throw it in the fire. Otherwise, we are going to want to replace one of those reds. And then let's maybe reorganize the start to give us some more space. This is a super inefficient space layout. So, okay, so at that point, we start with a blue. We get 1 fewer red. We see a blue. We get 1 fewer blue. We've read a red. We have at least 1 red. So at this point, we just need to check all the reds so that we get 1 fewer red. And then we need to replace the blue we just read at the end there. And that should be pretty good. This seems okay. Start with a blue. Why is this going back to the same thing? Because I just reorganized it, right? The blue's supposed to come from the top. I think this needs to go here. And this needs to move over here. Alright, so we start with a blue. Put that at the back so that we can separate it. We have some reds. We get 1 fewer red than we started with. We read at least 1 blue. If there's a blue, we replace it and we have 1 fewer blue than we started with. if there's a red, we read 1, and then we have 1 fewer red than we started with. Okay. So then the question is, like, what do we do? The base case is when one of these has 0. So if we have, like, I think this is fine. So, okay. So if we have red, 2 blues, and a red, that should reject. So we start off, we add a blue to the end. We have a red, 2 blues, and a red, and then a receptor. So that gets rid of a red. That gets rid of a blue. This gets rid of a red. We had a red, 2 blues, and a red. We got rid of. And we just have a conveyor belt going the wrong way. Okay, so we have a red, 2 blues, and 2 reds this time. This should get us. We add the blue at the end, and then we should have 0, 1, and 1 after we go through. Okay, so that blue is just an indicator, like the last indicator. We have 0, and then we get a blue. So this one just needs to be a fire, because that's the indication that the first group of red has hit 0 first before anything else. There we go. So I was a little surprised that Jada could work at 2 competing businesses at the same time. Laughing, she told me she couldn't work for just one. Neither paid her enough to get by. It's practically impossible to get by around here without an engineer's salary. So if Jada was going to support herself and her parents too, she'd have to do a few impossible things. Alright, so we will... Yeah, so to explain this in case it wasn't clear, the idea was we start off with some reds, some blues, and some reds in 3 separate groups. We rate a blue to the back so that we can keep the first and the last group of reds separate. And then, as long as there are some reds, blues, and reds, this thing will just subtract 1 from each of those groups and get back to the front. So the question is, what do you do once you're at a low number? So if there's only 1 blue, it will, in the middle, it will take 1 from the reds, go here for the blue, and then there's no more blue, so it instantly reads reds, and that means the blues ran out first, so it passes. If there was an additional blue, that means there's at least 2, so we check, is there only 1 red? And the way we do that is, if it passes through here, we read 1 red, and then we check if there's a second one up here. If not, that passes through, and that to the blues too soon, and that tells us that there were the last group of reds ran out before the group of blues, so there's too few reds there and we reject it. Finally, if we get here, which is back to the start, and we have no reds to start with, that means when we went through the first time, we ran out of that first group of reds, but we had extra blues remaining, so that first group of reds had fewer than the number of blues. Hopefully that was all clear. I could clean this up, but we've spent a while on this one, so I think I'll do the space and time challenges at a later point. And did I get an achievement here? Number of scanners and stampers in your assembly line. Huh. Guess I got an efficiency bonus for that.